The nightcap here. Heading to the West Coast, we got the Stanford Cardinal traveling down south to take on the San Diego State Aztecs. Looks like Stanford's laying 9.5 or 10, depends where you shop. Make sure to check out SBR odds for the best number, and a total of 47 or 46, anywhere in between. So shop around on the total as well. But we got Stanford versus SDSU. Which way are you looking to bet this one, Joe?
Yeah, I'm taking the underdog, Drew, and I'm also going to take the underdog with the points and the underdog on the money line. You look at both of these teams, they're mirror images of each other. They should really play this game in a phone booth because they're smash mouth style of offense and defense in terms of a physicality perspective. I wasn't high on Stanford entering this year. I picked them at 7-5 overall, and I'm sticking by that. You look at their first 7 games last year. They were 4-3 after their first 7 games against opponents with a combined overall record of 57-34, which is a 626 winning percentage. When they had a 6-game winning streak last year, they came against opponents with a combined overall record of 27-46. 369. So in my opinion, they were a little bit inflated at 10-3 overall. They got exposed by USC and they got beat up on the offense and defensive lines. USC put up over 600 yards of total offense. They put up 623 total yards of offense, 316 through the air and 304 on the ground. They now have back-to-back road games and face another blue-collar offense in San Diego State. This is an offense in San Diego State that is averaging 277 rushing yards on the ground, and more importantly, their defensive front seven in run support is only giving up 50 rushing yards per game. I think they could force Keller Chris into third down and long situations and really force Stanford out of their game plan by stacking the box against Bryce Love. More importantly, look for San Diego State quarterback Christian Chapman to exploit Stanford's secondary off of play action. San Diego State has a very underrated running back in Rashad Penny. He broke out last week for 216 rushing yards on the ground against Arizona State. They beat a Pac-12 opponent, Arizona State, on the road last week, 30-20. I like Rocky Long as a head coach, and more importantly, I think the physicality perspective of back-to-back road games for Stanford is the difference. This is a high-scoring game, though. 37-34, San Diego State gets the upset over Stanford.
I like it, Joe. Going with the dog, the home dog. And Joe, I know you like him outright, so we get him a big plus number. But for record purposes, we will take San Diego State plus the points. So 9.5 pretty much across the board. Bovada's showing a 10, but I feel weird giving 2 plays out and taking the Bovada line. So we'll have to go with 9.5. But any closing thoughts before we close this out, Joe?
Yeah, a couple of games that are on my radar, Drew. I love underdogs this week. I really like Wyoming plus the points over Oregon, and I really like Vanderbilt over Kansas State. Kansas State was 9-4 last year. 8 wins came against FBS opponents with a combined overall record of 39-60. I think the physicality of Vanderbilt on the offense and defensive lines really is the difference. And keep in mind, Kyle Shermer last year only threw 9 touchdown passes. Through 2 games this year, Vanderbilt has thrown 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. He has a big play running back in Ralph Webb along with Carrie Blassingame. I think that's the difference. And keep in mind that Vanderbilt's defensive front seven is solid in run support, only giving up 59 rushing yards on the ground and only 105 passing yards through the air. I think it's upset city, baby. Vanderbilt gets the victory over Kansas State 28-24. And I will say this, one favorite I do like is Michigan over Air Force. I think the physicality on the defensive line going up against the triple option is the difference. Look for Michigan to cover the number against the Air Force Falcons this coming weekend in Ann Arbor.
All right, great breakdown, Joe. And find him on Twitter at GoForThe2. We will be back next week with another college football breakdown with Joe Lisi. Thank you, Joe, and we'll see you next week.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.